Miramax Films is proud to present one of the most celebrated motion pictures of the year. The winner of the 1994 Palme d'Or, the best picture of the Cannes Film Festival.
Come on, let's get in character. I'm so interested in Big Man's wife. Well, he's going into town in Florida, and he asked me if I'd take care of her while he's gone. Take care of her? No, man. Just show her a good time, make sure she don't get lonely. Girl, you see, this is a moral test of oneself.
I do believe Marcellus, my husband, your boss, told you to take me out and do whatever I wanted.
I love you so much, can't count on
Whether or not you can maintain loyalty.
Night of the fight, you may feel a slight sting. Pride only hurts. It never helps. In the fifth, your ass goes down.
I have to say, play the matches, you get burned.
We should have shotguns for this kind of deal.
We're in a lot of danger, aren't we?
I'm prepared to scout the earth right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Get down, get down.
You got a corpse in a car, minus the head in the garage. Take me to it.
Don't you hate that?
Hey, what?
Uncomfortable silences.
Starring Mary Barone. 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 And Mary Barone.
Die, you mother!
In a new film from Adonis Paul. Sulk Fiction.
All right, everyone. My one viewer who's watching this. Yeah, it's time I get back into covering the cow that, well, I've become more familiar with. That's right. We're going back to looking at Adrastia. I mean, after the whole Leticia thing, I feel like it's time to get back to the roots of all this shit, because, well, I think we could use a little break from Letity. And besides, Mary's still butthurt over the fact that her parent, well, that Aunt Kathy is still the bane of her existence, still won't validate her victimhood. Granted, Mary is a bit nutty because, well, she makes the choices to put herself in the situation she's in right now. And I'm all here for it. I'm really all here for it.
I'm not doing great. I've only just woke up and I'm already,
This was on April 26th, almost a few days ago. Tell us what's wrong, Mary.
I don't know how to get through this.
Tell us what's wrong, Mary.
Stop this feeling of these thoughts. I feel like my life has just been crushed. Like, there is no way I can go back to my life after the last year that I've lived.
You're assuming you had a life to live. Yeah, you can't go back to living on the streets, begging people for money, and not have anyone laugh at you for it. Is that the life you're talking about? If that's the case, then honestly, that is just a poor existence. But then again, we've got a lot more to cover with this one. So, yeah. There's more.
There's no way that I could spend the rest of my life with the memories And the realization that my own family truly despises me to this point. Like,
Well, okay, I'm just gonna say it. The reason why your family hates your guts is obvious because I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't have stopped. Maybe you shouldn't have slandered them and called them pedophile rapists who also butcher. Well, actually, I wouldn't say butcher, but maybe you shouldn't have called them, I don't know, pedophile rapists. It's just a thought. Maybe you shouldn't have, I don't know, provoked them. There's a reason why Aunt Kathy hates your guts right now. Well, I wouldn't say she hates your guts. I'd say that she hates how you pretty much lie about them, lie about her family, lie about your family. Because at this point, we all know that your family has had enough of your bullshit, and this whole attention grabbing is gotta stop. How long? We've been at this for almost a year, and to this day, you still haven't learned a fucking lesson. I mean, you couldn't get a clue about how you made the choice to put yourself in situations, in this situation, in situations like this. My bad.
my aunt literally went and left apple juice at my little brother's grave. She actually did that.
So what? So fucking what, Mary? So fucking what if Aunt Kathy left apple juice at your brother's grave? It's not harming anyone. It's not even... You're crying over the fact that Aunt Kathy left a bottle of apple juice. You know what she did with that apple juice? She drank it on the way home.
And people tell me, well, get over it.
Yes.
I can't.
Why?
How do you get over somebody pissing on your disabled brother's grave? How do you just get over that?
Who said she had to piss on your brother's grave? It's a joke. It's a fucking joke, Mary. AP knew that it was a joke, but he knew that you would react to this. He knew that this was just another pity grift. And you're using the same shit over and over again. Oh, my aunt is desecrating my brother's grave. My family disrespects my brother. My brother's the only person I have in life. Your brother's dead. Your brother died when he was in his 20s. You're just using his memory to buy so that you could swindle. Sorry. You're just using your brother's memory to swindle some sorry sap on Facebook so that you can buy weed to calm your nerves. And sorry for the stuttering and the stammering. That's probably part of my autism. And I know nobody watches.
She'll never apologize for it. She'll never admit that she was wrong. And she was. And she is.
It's always everyone's fault.
And I'm living a life in hell because of the control and the power that the internet has given her.
Well, I hate to say this, Mary, but you gave her that power. You kept lying about your family, and Aunt Kathy had to come in and tell her side of the story. And between the two of you, I'd rather believe in what Aunt Kathy has to say about you, because again, it shows how much of a liar you really are. There's weight to the story, unlike your sad excuses. And yes, I sound condescending, but again, I'm trying to take a break from the titty for right now, but she's batshit insane. Oh, hey, Draven, what's up?
Before the radio shows, the news shows started contacting her, she didn't know how badly she could hurt me still.
I'm just going back to Mary for right now because this shit is getting... Because the shit with Latitty got me upset.
I had managed to escape her. I had to give up the entire family. I had to give up the inheritance. I knew that none of those things would ever happen.
What inheritance? What inheritance? You were given $10,000 and you blew through that shit in a matter of weeks. Like I said so many times, like I said with that in that stream with Reality Check, you're more financially irresponsible than Rev and Shani. I mean, really? You could have put that money in a trust. You could have, I don't know, put that money in like a savings. You didn't have to blow through all of that. But, well, then again, you were never taught the value of $1 when you were young. As a matter of fact, you were pretty much a spoiled little brat who always had her way when you were living with your grandmother. And you still expect that to this day, even now. Sorry. You've always had this idea where you want other people to take care of you because, I don't know, you were so used to it when you were a kid, when you had your grandmother spoil you rotten. I mean, I've heard Aunt Kathy's convictions. I've heard her tell her side of the story about the Disneyland story, Oh, thanks.
Because it would mean bringing her back into my life.
You should have seen Hatman on the library. I was gonna watch all of it, but I was watching Medicare. I was watching Medicare's Year of the Chud stream, and I was also watching Security Monitor Lizard and found fundraiser stream. And I pretty much participated in Jackbox under the pseudonym Doodoo Fart. I didn't play along with him, but, well, there are some weird-ass answers.
And I gave up on them, and then these radio shows brought her back into my life anyway. And everybody keeps insisting.
They weren't radio shows. They were podcast. What radio shows? Don't you mean podcasts? Don't you mean the podcasts? Are you talking about Daywave? Are you talking about the late irate prostate? And I'm still trying, and I still thought about I was still considering on doing an interview with Aunt Kathy, but now that ship's sailed, I've avoided Mary for a while, but you know what? Fuck it. Might as well take the longer videos because that's usually what I'm good at. I'm good at usually looking at the longer videos of Adrasia. Because no one would ever do those types of videos. I mean, AP has disavowed her. Virgie has probably disavowed her. JJ's still covering her, but only rarely. Hatman still covers her, but barely. So I'm basically the only one who's giving her attention at this point. And because I'm at 420 subscribers, almost reaching 500, maybe, who knows, I might catch her attention. But that's just wishful thinking. Anyway, let's get back to this crazy bitch.
But she's not abusive. It's perfectly normal to piss on disabled children's graves. That's
No.
not abusive.
No. Medicare isn't Dart Ninja. No, Medicare's not Dart Ninja. Yeah, Medicare's not Medicare is not Dart Ninja Draven. That's another one of his sock accounts, one of his troll accounts that he uses to fuck with you. I mean, come on. You know Isaac Flores wants to be the ultimate troll, right? And that Super Medicare YouTube handle was pretty much another ploy to be the super troll, to be the mega troll. I mean, to be the greatest troll on the internet. Sorry. I get my words jumbled up. Please excuse my autism. My Asperger's.
But it is. It's extremely abusive. Only an abusive person would even think to go and do something like that. And the reason she did it was because she needed to prove Adonis Paul was not a liar. He raised $1,500 to go piss on my little brother's grave, and Kathy had to make sure that was...
No. That money went to Adonis Paul's truck. And by the way, Draven, like I said, Medicare and Dart Ninja are not the same. Medicare and Adonis Paul are the same. I mean, it's not like you've seen them in the same room together. Who knows? Maybe Adonis Paul puts on a fake high-pitched voice and probably sounds like this. Or maybe Medicare. Maybe I'm Medicare. Maybe we are all Medicare here. We are all Jim.
It's not a lie that his integrity stayed intact.
Oh, let me hear.
But
Joseph Camo said, there was a post on her Facebook that she was going to buy a headstone for Bubba, but never did. Instead, she blew through the money. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, the $10,000 was supposed to go for the headstone, but instead, yeah, all that money went on frivolous shit.
Desecrating my brother. The only person in this family that I really had, aside from my grandmother.
Oh, sure. Of course, you would care more about your grandmother because, I don't know, your grandmother spoiled you when you were little. And last I checked, from what I heard from Aunt Kathy, when Adonis Paul featured her on one of his streams, along with Virgie, JJ Stoner, and Hatman, you and Lil Ronnie weren't really that close. As a matter of fact, you didn't even care about Lil Ronnie. You were pretty much jealous of him because he got all the attention. And you were pretty much a little shit. I find it weird and odd that Mary would care about these people even when they're dead. Like with Ronnie, she cared about him when he passed away. With Roberta, she cared about her and even her mom. But who the fuck knows? We all know that she's just doing this as a way to, well, grift a few half-wits out of $20 just so that she can use that money for weed. It's the same ploy that she uses in almost all her videos.
And and I'm not allowed to have either of them, you know?
Fake
Kathy
tears.
and my sisters, they claim that I never loved my grandmother. I never cared about her, just her money.
They're not wrong. They are not wrong. I mean, you were fighting with Aunt Kathy about the inheritance. You were pretty much berating your family for not giving you the inheritance money that you wanted.
So I'm not allowed to have her.
You're not allowed to have.
They say that I never cared about my brother, so I'm not allowed to have him either.
Well, of course you didn't care about your brother. You abandoned him when you fled the household to live with what's his name? Steven Barone, your ex-husband, the transgender guy, the transgender ex-husband whom you drove. Sorry. Let me say that again. Steven, your transgender ex-husband whom you've, well, acted as a chauffeur so that you can act it as a chauffeur for so that he could see his underage girlfriend. I mean, let's not forget, when you were married with him, you pretty much drove him to said girlfriend's house for quote unquote emotional support. And all the times you were together, you were probably in denial that he was committing SA. And you facilitated that shit. And don't forget me started on Kevin McBride and the murder of Roberta Laws. I think we've already established that you are also an accessory to a murder. And you pretty much sold Roberta's belongings.
If I didn't care about my brother, why does it hurt so bad what they've done?
Because you're faking it. Because you're faking this pity party. Because, again, you want the attention. You saw that people are more focused on Letitia Collins right now, and you're trying to scrape whatever attention you get by pretending that you're being persecuted by your family. I mean, come on. Apple juice? Seriously, Mary? You're upset that Aunt Kathy left apple juice? I mean, dude, it goes to show that you obviously you either have thin skin or you're faking this whole thing because, again, we know how you like to over exaggerate stories and invent a new crisis. Scratch that. You would like to invent a new reason to be upset so that you could swindle a bunch of your Facebook friends. I mean, so that you could buy money for weed and feminine products like tampons.
Would it hurt this bad if I was just hurting for me?
Yes and no.
I don't know.
I mean, nobody takes you seriously anymore. Not that they do right now. I mean, but the fact is that you go above and beyond to try and paint yourself as the victim. You falsely accused, you flagged people's channels for hate speech, all because you didn't like what they said about you. You try to report internet talk show hosts to the police because you keep saying that they're killing you just by laughing at your videos, and you're threatening to commit suicide, and you probably were trying to frame them for murder. You took down Adonis Paul's Patreon. You had Virgie's channels. You've had Virgie's channels nuked. Right now, he's IP banned from some other reason, but that's not the case. You are an overall horrible person, Adrastia. You and Letitia and James, you three belong together. And that's saying something. I mean, I've watched some of James's recent videos where he's accusing Adonis Paul of wanting to rape him. And I'm like, oh shit. He's taking pages from your playbook. That's not a good sign.
I don't know. But I know every day I think about my little brother, and I think about the fact that his own aunt went to his grave and did that.
She didn't even open the apple juice. She just left it at the side of his grave. Nobody was pissing on it. Like AP said, you invent new reasons to get upset about. And so that people will feel bad for you and give you money. If I did that, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be for, well, you know that grift wouldn't last that long, and yeah. I'd be hated too if I did that.
And it tears me up.
Why?
I can't understand how it's happening.
God damn it, Mary. God damn it. I didn't really plan on doing a live stream, but because I'm in dire straits, and I guess I could use a little support, if you know what I mean. I have to go back to my cash cow, the person that I used to make money on. I was just thinking about turning in, but then again, I got bored and I really needed to. I've been planning on this for a while, but you get the idea.
Like, this isn't the way people are supposed to be. This isn't the way families are supposed to be. They're not supposed to want to hurt you.
Again, Adrastia, nobody is hurting you. Your family is not hurting you. You just like to invent a new excuse to why you're having a crisis. And I keep repeating myself. Sorry about that. But again, nobody is hurting you. They're just making jokes about you. And it's not a crime to make a joke about someone who obviously can't take any criticism to save her life. And this is a thing with you. You always take things way too seriously. Or I wouldn't say you take things too seriously, but you're just using this information as a way to, I don't know, shame your family, shame the people that review your videos, try to get them in trouble, try to falsely accuse them of committing crimes against you. AP was right. You are a beggar. And you try to deny that everyone knows about you to call you that. And you are also a bum. You are a lazy bum. Just like Letitia, you are a lazy bum who refuses to take any accountability for her own mistakes.
But mine does. Family is supposed to love you.
I agree. Hey, widow.
I don't know what love is.
I want to know what
Because
love
the family I was
is.
put into didn't know what love was.
I want to know what love is.
They only know what drugs and money are.
How many want to bet that this is just projection? This sounds like projection. Adrazia probably doesn't know what love is. All she knows is drugs and money, but mostly drugs, because she can't handle money. I mean, for God's sakes, this woman put like put out an ad on Craigslist for companionship, i.e., she was offering blowies in the parking lot for weed money. What's up, Widow Son? I hope to see you this week. I hope to be on your show. I hope that I could play some games because I think I had a fun time. I like Jackbox. And some of my answers might not be right. I would like to play What the Dub.
And how to create more soulless people that will care only about drugs and money.
What? What? Drugs and money. Is this? Oh boy, Mary. Quite contrary. How is your monthly flow? I thought you said weed wasn't a drug. I thought you said I thought you said marijuana isn't a drug. I'm sorry, but AP, Virgie, ROTC, they have sponsorships with CBDX. That's not illegal. Money? People got to make money. It's an income. Hell, I got to make money right here. Speaking of which, if you feel generous and you want to donate a few shekels, you can check out my PayPal, my Streamlabs, and my Cash App. Both links are in all three links are in the description as well as in the chat. If you can't do that, you can always like the stream, share this with your friends, and let everyone know we got this thing going on. And if you want, you can always subscribe to my channel and click the bell notification in case I do an upload, in case I ever feel like uploading. All is acceptable. Any small amount of support is acceptable. Big, small, medium, midget, who have you. It's all acceptable. It also helps keep this channel alive and helps these streams flow even better. Now back to this crazy bitch. Oh God.
The family is supposed to support you.
Family is supposed to support you. Not when you're in your mid-30s, jobless, living on disability, and refusing to, fend for themselves. When you turn 18, they don't have to, like what Joseph says, they don't have to love you or like you or support you when you turn 18. You do that shit on your own.
And I've never had any support from this family.
How do you think I feel?
I've never had anything but being belittled and put down, even when I wasn't a failure.
How do you think I feel? Lord knows how many times I've been berated and belittled on the internet. I used to care about it, but then I decided, you know what? Fuck it. I don't have to listen great. I'm starting to sound like Letitty right now. But again, at the end of the, but I have to say this, at the end of the day, none of this shit matters. I keep saying this. You can just, I don't know, turn off your phone for a minute. Stop looking at your phone to see what your family's talking about. Stop reading your comments. Take a break. I don't know. Go outside and, I don't know, sniff some pot leaves and this bitch. This dumb bitch. Between Letitia and Adrastia, I guess I would favor Mary because, again, at least Mary didn't murder a litter of newborn puppies, unlike Letitia. But then again, I keep remembering that she may or may not have upped the ante by murdering a crippled woman with cerebral palsy, even though she didn't really kill Roberta Laws, but she instigated it by telling Kenneth McBride to get rid of her. And she may or may not have killed her own grandmother by pushing her down the flight of stairs. Again, we don't know for sure if she did kill her grandmother. That's up to speculation.
You know, I was the only one of my family that graduated high school.
I'm pretty sure that's a lie. I'm pretty sure that you didn't really graduate from high school, that you received a participation certificate and you really weren't really in actual high school. You were in those special needs classes. I think that's what that is.
And during that time, it wasn't a big deal because everybody was mad at me and hating me. Like, my little sister was always making fun of me and telling me that boys weren't gonna like me because I was always reading and I needed to wear makeup and I was too fat. And my older sister was...
I don't think your sisters were saying that to you. I think the voices in your head were telling you that. I think it's the voices in your head that are pretty much warping your reality. I don't think your sisters actually said that to you. Well, they hate you now because you kept lying about them. You kept lying about your entire family. And you're unapologetic about it. Do you really think that your family wouldn't respond when you couldn't keep their names out of your mouth? There are repercussions, and you're paying dearly for those. So again, you brought this upon yourself, Adrastia, and now you're pretty much at the bottom of the barrel.
having her own kids by that point. But it definitely didn't matter to her whether I graduated because she didn't graduate, so it just made her more jealous of me.
How many want to bet that she only graduated from special needs school and this diploma was actually a certificate of goddamn. A participation certificate. Meaning she didn't really actually finish high school.
It was just another thing that I did that she didn't do. She
True.
had kids and I didn't do that. Do I get to be jealous?
Well, you can't have kids now because, well, you abused morphine to the point where you're left barren. So you're unable to have kids. And even if you did have kids, you'd probably treat them worse than Letitia treats than how Letitia treated those unborn puppies. Hell, you might even, I don't know, do to them what Kenneth McBride did to Roberta. Because you're a murderer. You're a murderer. You kill potatoes.
When I went to my high school prom, my mom was jealous of me.
Prove it.
And a few years later, she brought that up.
How many want to bet that she's just ripping off stories that she was reading? Joseph, how would you want to bet that she's ripping off like stories that she watched on Lifetime?
My mom once actually blamed me for her not going to her prom. Simply because she was angry that I got to go to mine.
I'm beginning to think that it was one of those handicap proms that were held in some dingy basement. You know, like where the handicap, because you have to understand that handicapped people have to have their own proms because they can't. Actually, I'm not going to go into that because how many want to bet that the prom she went to was only for like the mentally challenged? And it was held inside a dingy tool shed.
I wasn't born when my mom's prom. I wasn't even conceived. I wasn't the first child. That would have been my older sister. But my mom never had a prom because she dropped out of school at 13. And I most definitely did not force her to do that. But that's how this family works. They always blame somebody else. And they get so angry and they want vengeance.
I wish I could use that sound box right now. Let me get that out. E. We'll hook that up later on.
For something that the person did not do. Kathy is so desperate to get revenge on me right now for things that I did not do. She's accused me of killing my grandmother. And she's shown you absolutely no evidence that I would ever hurt.
No, Moonlight artists. They can't comprehend proms. Have you ever read The Tale of Fax McGee and His Retard 3? There was shit and piss everywhere. That's all I could say. Okay, yeah, so, yeah. Maybe that was just one isolated incident, but yeah, some people can, some special needs people have proms, but again, how many want to bet? But then again, Mary's stories change constantly. She's always trying to make up or rewrite history, trying to make her family look like the monsters. It's obvious she's trying to rip off other people's stories, like she did with Dave Pelzer when she ripped off A Child Called It, and she's probably just reusing Dave Pelzer's trauma and passing it off as her own. I can bet that that's the case right now.
My grandmother. She went to Florida. She said she was going to talk to people, and then nothing came of it. And when nothing comes of it, they won't apologize and say that they're wrong. They'll just say, we need to look further. We need to find more people. They won't ever just accept that I'm not this terrible monster. I talk too much. That's my big crime. That's why they wouldn't let me see a therapist when I was a kid, because I talked too much. And they couldn't have me.
Yeah, that's your big issue. You talk too much. Newsflash! Everybody talks too much. It's not something anyone can live with, but again, you just try to make yourself look like the victim constantly. But no, it's not that you talk too much. It's the fact that you lie too much. That's why nobody's going to accept you. You've been known to fabricate stories constantly. And you try to act as if you're the one being persecuted, when in actuality, you're the one who's persecuting your family for what they didn't do to you. Because you are so desperate for attention. Like what AP said, you want to be an internet celebrity so bad. You want to relive your that 15 minutes of fame you had when you were featured on In the Know. Or was it In the Now or In the Know? Yeah, I think it was In the Know. But you wanted to relive that experience. I mean, it's obvious.
Talking about things that they didn't want people to know about.
You're not the only one who thinks she has an Adam's apple.
I'm still talking about things that they don't want people to know about. And I'm not. That hasn't changed. Through all of the accusations, my story has not changed. And I don't know if any of y'all could really comprehend.
My story has not changed. Well, of course it hasn't changed. Because you keep repeating the same things over and over again. Well, actually, I wouldn't say your stories haven't changed. You kept retconning it. It's not that it hasn't changed. It's the fact that you kept retconning your stories, trying to make your family look out the... Sorry. Let me just say that again. But let's say that slowly so that Adrastia will listen. It's not that your stories have not changed. It's the fact that you keep retconning them, trying to demonize your family in vain attempts to make yourself look like the victim. It's a persecution complex. And not only that, it's a bad one. Because you have shown that you are also batshit crazy. And you have shown that you also resort to extreme means to get attention. Like, for instance, you did that live stream where you were writing VIG on your arm in your own blood with a thick razor. Or you try to take out a small blade. And we all know goddamn well that we can't show that shit on YouTube. Otherwise, we'd have that shit taken down. Otherwise, we have our channels flagged. And I'm surprised you haven't been flagged for suicide. Because, again, there's a reason why you're never going to get monetized. There's a reason why you're never going to get money. It's because you say all this shit all the time. You pretty much trivialize suicide and sexual assault constantly in your videos that YouTube is gonna see that and they're like, sorry, bitch, no money for you. I guess you're destined to die poor, just like me.
I hid how hard this is, but it is my own family rallying these allegations against me. My own
True.
family. Every time they get upset, they'll say that they're filing criminal charges against me, and then nothing ever comes of it. And if I bring it up, they'll say, just wait. Just wait. You'll be in prison soon enough for what we've done. You'll be locked up. You'll be hurt. We're gonna hurt you. Don't worry. We're going to find a way to legally hurt you.
I don't think that's what they said. I don't think that's exactly what they said. You can quote me on that. You can prove me wrong on that. But again, they're just telling you to stop slandering them. They're just telling you to leave them the fuck alone. They don't want to deal with your bullshit constantly. They have their own shit to deal with. And your stupid, insane ass just can't accept the fact that you are not the center of attention.
For speaking out. And that's not the way family is supposed to be. Family is
Speak for yourself. Every family has a little bit of dysfunction. Yeah, so what? Your family sucks. So what if you're Aunt Kathy? So what if your family sucks? So fucking what? But you know what? Every family sucks. Every family is worse. But again, well, not everyone. Not every family is happy and wholesome. There are going to be a lot of fucked up people. There's going to be a lot of dysfunctional families. No family is perfect. But let's just say there are a few black sheeps in the family, and clearly you are the blackest of all sheep. So, yeah. Logic fails.
supposed to love. Family is supposed to care. I was homeless for 5 years. Normal families would be happy that I was online where people could keep track of me.
Yeah, and that's when you started slandering your family. You were pretty much slandering your family left and right, calling them rapists, calling them child abusers, accusing them of conspiring to murder you. Do you really think they're not going to retaliate? Do you really think that they're not going to respond to you? You said all this disgusting shit about them, and you wonder why that they're speaking up against you?
Even if I was miserable, they would be able to know that I was still alive. In a normal family, that would mean something. The constant reminder that I'm still alive is not a reminder my family wants. They're waiting for the videos to stop. They're waiting for my existence to end. And what happens then? What happens after I die? Do you just find another family member to hate?
Oh, God damn it, Mary. God damn it, Mary. Sit down for a bit. Sit your dumb ass down. What you said, that was just fucked up. Your family doesn't hate you. They just hate what you say about them. They hate your attitude. Because again, your stupid, insane ass is accusing them of shit that they didn't do to you. And you expect your family to forgive you for all the times you've lied about Aunt Kathy, about all the times you lied about your dead father, about all the times you lied about your dead mother? Do you really? And let's not forget the fact that you were thinking about writing a book about Aunt Kathy's deceased daughter. I mean, Aunt Kathy lost both her sisters, and she's still going through the pain of losing her daughter, her oldest daughter, not Sarah, but the other one, the one that drowned. Do you really think that she's going to let that slide? Do you really think she's going to let your hateful rhetorics towards her children, towards her siblings fly? No, she will respond because you keep bringing her name up. You keep lying about her. And you keep pushing forth this agenda to, I don't know, get a group of people to back you up and go after your Aunt Kathy because you didn't like what she says about you. It's obvious that you're trying to find someone to come to your aid and I don't know, destroy Aunt Kathy. And you probably found that in James Clark. And I know that Adrazia has been talking with James Clark as of recently. I mean, they're pretty much using each other's stories.
How's it gonna feel when you're the one that
I agree.
turns on because they desperately need somebody to blame for all of their pain? Because for the past decade or so, it's been me. And I can't shoulder the blame for this entire family's hurt. I can't even shoulder my own hurt. And a lot of people are going to say, well,
I don't mind doing these longer videos because it gives me an excuse to do a stream. And besides,
what? I do blame my family for all of my problems. No, I don't. I want them held accountable for the trauma that I suffer. That's not saying that everything is their fault. It's
sounds
not
like
the
it.
same. Saying that your parents were abusive and you were traumatized is not. It's not the same as your abusive mother saying that she didn't go to prom because of you, who wasn't born until maybe 15 years later. Right? Like, they're not gonna. Nobody's gonna understand that. Nobody's ever gonna understand me. Nobody's ever gonna believe me.
They never believed you in the first place, Mary. No one ever did believe you because they saw through you. They saw through your lies and deceptions. There were inconsistencies in your stories. A lot of inconsistencies. And you wonder why no one's going to take you seriously anymore? You wonder why people are not going to pity you that much anymore? Not that they ever did in the first place, but do you wonder why you're being reviled? Do you wonder why nobody is going to look at you anymore?
My family has made sure that nobody's ever going to believe me. That won't stop me. I've lived my whole life knowing nobody was ever going to believe me or care about me, and it hasn't stopped me from being honest.
Really? Is that so, Mary?
I've been really struggling this past month in making plans. Plans to just disappear.
Why don't you? Hey, come on. I've made plans to disappear so many times. Not really. I didn't really make plans to disappear. That was back when I was younger and I felt like nobody cared about me. Actually, that still happens right now, but who knows?
And then fighting those plans. I bought a notebook.
Good for you.
I bought two, actually.
Good for you.
The other one is in my backpack, which is packed and ready to go at any second.
Okay. Where are you going? Are you going to disappear in the woods? Are you going to live like a caveman? Are you going to be one with nature like Kimber Kush?
Where I'll go. I don't have any place to go. But my mind wants to run away and escape. And I have to fight it and tell myself that I...
Ah, yes. My Instagram. I almost forgot to add in my Instagram. Day and frickin' night.
can't. That there's no place to go. That if I stick it out, it has to get better.
Yeah, it always has to get better.
But does it?
No.
Sometimes it doesn't get better.
No shit.
Sometimes life is hell and it stays hell.
Well, yeah. Nothing. It's not all. Life is not all sunshine and rainbows, bitch. You're gonna have trials and tribulation. You're gonna have conflict. It's about what you do that makes things matter. Do you, I don't know, overcome everything? Do you overcome these obstacles, or do you let all this trauma, all your problem or do you let your problems define you? Do you overcome them? Do you overcome your problems, or do you just let your problems overcome you? That's the thing. That is the thing. You have a choice, Adrastia. You can persevere, or you can succumb to the demons. And based on the looks of it, it seems that you're succumbing to your demons. Maybe you're possessed by a demon, and you need a priest to exorcise you.
And it never gets better. I did write a little bit in the book. Some of the things that have changed this year since these channels started using my videos. I don't have a phone anymore. I've canceled the service because I'm afraid to have an active service because they call me. Sometimes they get my number, and if they get my number, it's over. And I got so scared of them getting my number again that I just had the phone cut off. I'm
That's
not on
dumb.
medication anymore. Y'all know that. I'm also not in therapy, and I don't have a doctor anymore.
Well, whose fault?
Because I was in therapy and on medication And then last year, because of the talk shows that are talking about me and lying about me, they said that I didn't have any mental health issues, that I was faking everything. And it made somebody in Australia angry. And this person in Australia contacted my therapist and threatened my therapist if they didn't lock me in a mental hospital. My therapist, my doctor, the whole mental health facility received harassing, threatening emails and phone calls because they refused to bow and lock me in a mental hospital because I said that it would not help me. I've always been very clear that being locked up is a trigger for me, that if I'm in a mental hospital, I can't actually receive any help because the only thing I'm thinking about is escaping that locked door. And you can't help somebody who is focused only on escaping because they're not listening to you. You can't medicate that out of somebody either. PTSD is something that cannot be medicated. It has to be worked around. And part of my PTSD is being locked up, especially being locked up in mental facilities, because in Florida, they would Baker Act me for anything.
Mary, I honestly have to say this. Nobody contacted your therapist. You chose not to go to therapy. You chose not to get your medication. You chose to get rid of your phone. You chose to do all this shit. And you wonder why people are upset with you? And you wonder why you're losing your fucking mind right now. It's like you're writing fan fictions in your head and you're trying to make them true.
I was in and out of those fucking mental hospitals in Florida and it was hell. And I can't do it again. In California, it's not so easy to have somebody locked up. And the woman in Australia found that out and she got angry and she started threatening.
She's talking about Niece Lone Wolf. Niece Lone Wolf is what I would refer to as an A-log. Niece Lone Wolf pretty much wants she obviously wants Adrastia to suffer a pain worse than death. And half of the fuck people are pretty much getting tired of her bullshit, right? I mean, she's also a doxer. And I sometimes I wonder, why do we keep her around? Maybe she's an A-log. But then again, she is an A-log, and I'm not one to judge.
And then when my therapist left, they offered me a new therapist.
But you didn't take it, did you?
I didn't go because I was afraid that the new therapist would start receiving the harassment that the old one did.
Kenesha wasn't really a therapist. She was an intern. Again, another one of Adrastia's many lies. Do you really think that people are that stupid, Mary? Do you really? You going around saying this shit goes to show that you care very little for your audience. And you expect them to give you money? I try to like read every comment every time I see some of you people in my audience, in my chat. Some comments I gloss over, but others I pay attention.
And I didn't want another person to go through the same hell that I'm going through just because they're trying to help me. So I had to get. I haven't had a therapist since then. And because I wasn't in therapy, my insurance was turned off, and I wasn't able to get my medication.
And whose fault was that? Whose fault was it that you can't get your benefits? Whose fault was it that you can't get your medication? Again, keep in mind that she's made all the choices to put herself in these situations. We didn't tell her to stop taking her meds. We didn't tell her to stop going to therapy. She made those choices by herself because, again, she's a lazy bum.
I don't know if anybody's going to understand how that correlates to it being because of what has been happening online, but if it wasn't for the people online lying and denying my mental health issues, the woman in Australia never would have started contacting my mental health providers, and I never would have this fear that receiving help was going to cause somebody else to be threatened. I'm afraid now. I'm afraid of having a phone. I'm afraid of having a friend because I don't know who is really there for me and who is just trying to manipulate me to get information out of me that they can use to hurt me.
Just like Leticia, Adrastia has a black and white view on people and evil. So again, she doesn't want anyone to come in her life because she's afraid that they're going to backstab her. I mean, are you serious? Do you really think it's that grim? Do you really think the world's that black and white? Or are you just saying this shit because you want attention, you want money, you want revenge, or you want someone to come and save you from your internet bullies? I mean, your internet rivals. Like I said, you have to understand that Adrasia's stories change constantly. Every time she's caught in a lie, she'll double down on her victimhood. And she'll ramp it up by threatening her own life. One of Adrasia's coping mechanisms is to hold herself hostage, hoping that someone with half a brain and a pocket full of pesos is going to come and make all her internet problems go away for her.
I'm afraid of having money because people get so angry if I have even $1. People get so mad at me.
No, Mary. People get angry at you for grifting people out of their money. You lie constantly, hoping that some dumbass simp, that's one of your Facebook simps, gives you, donates money to your PayPal. Sorry. Speaking of PayPal, if you feel generous, once again, if you're feeling generous and you want to donate a few dollars my way, you can always check out my PayPal. It's in the chat. It's also the pinned comment in the chat, and it's also in the description, as well as along with my Cash App and my Streamlabs. I have to keep advertising this because it helps with the stream. And if you can't do that, if you can't donate, you can also, there's the alternative. You can like the stream, share this with your friends, and let everyone know we got this thing going. And also subscribe to my channel and click the bell notifications. It helps this channel out. It helps me reach my goals. And one of my goals tonight is, well, get 500 subscribers. Which, of course, we got 482 subscribers, and that is a big deal. Hopefully soon we might reach 500 more. We might reach 500, hopefully before the summer, God willing. But yeah, Streamlabs, Rickzilla, Streamlabs / Rickzilla 825/tip is Streamlabs Rickzilla 825. Sorry, Streamlabs / Rickzilla 0825/tip is the link if you want to donate. Alternatively, it's PayPal. Sorry.
I don't.
Alternatively, it's paypal.me/Rickzilla524. Both links are in the description as well as in the chat.
I don't know who is really there for me and who is just trying to manipulate me to get information out of me that they can use to hurt me. I'm afraid of having money because people get so angry if I have even $1. People get so mad at me.
Well, the reason why people get so mad at you for having $1 is because, again, you're swindling people out of their money. And I guess you could say, well, then again, we're all a bunch of swindlers here. But you are worse at it. You're the worst out of all of them. Because you invent a new reason to be afraid, hoping that some of your internet simps will give you money so that you can buy weed. Remember when you were faking a meltdown by saying that this trucker is going to come to kill you all because you defended your brother when he called your brother a potato? And then you wanted money for gross so that you could have your groceries delivered to you. And then Adonis Paul and a bunch of people said that they have video of you going to a dispensary, despite the fact that you said that you're too afraid to leave your apartment. And this pretty much set off the chain of events where you're wearing a fake dunce cap, a makeshift dunce cap, saying that with a you were making a makeshift dunce cap and passing down flyers saying Adonis Paul is a stalker.
That I'm literally afraid to have money. If I have money, I spend it and I get what I want. I can't hold on to it because if Adonis Paul found out that I had $5, that I was holding on to that $5,
Adonis Paul, before he decided to disavow you, he tried to help you out on Christmas. He gave money to you as like a Christmas gift, and you turned him down, and you pretty much pissed on his offer. Same thing with Mersh. They were extending an olive branch because it was the holidays. And you gotta say, and like what Reality Check said, Adonis Paul does have a big heart, which of course is working its ass off right now. And Mersh, I don't know much about Mersh. I hear that Porcelain has a documentary about him, and he's not too happy about it.
I feel like he would hurt me. And part of me is aware that that is an irrational belief, but it is what I'm dealing with.
Yes, it's not a rational belief. And let me read the comments. Your story doesn't change. It changes every time you tell it. You look like as if she blamed me for not going to her prom. Go, please. Giving your free housing to someone, giving your free might be your only redeeming action in life. BMAX said, you have said horrible things about your family. You trash them all the time. Why on earth would they want to help you or have you around? Winter Quilting says, they would not know if you were smiling, having fun, miserable, or breaking down if you didn't film it. You have complete control over that. Is that what bothers you, having control? Adonis Paul and other little creators have no power whatsoever. In the real world, they are nothing. Nothing at all. Stop delivering gift-wrapped power to them. No excuses. No more excuses. Get your meds. Winter Quilting, I couldn't have said it better myself. I couldn't have said it better myself. Oh, niece, not scared of you. I contacted the American Hospitals Association because your therapist is enabling you. Too. Oh, so niece Lone Wolf said, I have contacted the American Hospitals Association because your therapist was enabling you. Number 2, never threaten your therapist, you pathological liar. Number 3, no more attention or videos about you until you get to an ER and get help. None of us are responsible to give you attention. This is the last time I contact you. Next time you beg for my attention, you have gone to the ER and gotten help. And James Clark's like, I hope you feel better. I'm sorry I missed this. Best wishes. Oh my God, James, fuck off. Fuck off, James Clark. You're the one, James Clark. And that's the thing. He's been Adrasia has been in contact with James Clark. And at this point, he's pretty much enabling her. But then again, James Clark has a habit of preying on vulnerable women.
I'm afraid of having fun.
I'm afraid of having fun.
Because every time I seem slightly happy, they increase the torment. They get angry and say, "Oh, you're trying to be big now. You're so big and strong today. We'll see how you feel tomorrow. See you smiling.
Ma'am. The reason why you smile is when you're faking a smile. We've never seen you smile, Mary. No one's ever seen you actually smile. You're just faking it. And when you're ever so big, it's because you're being smug and trying to act like you have the moral high ground. And we just laugh at how stupid your excuses are. We just laugh at how stupid your remarks are. So again, miss me with that shit, Adrasia. Miss me with that goofy ass shit. Ain't nobody is gonna come to your aid and try to act like you are not the victim. You blame almost everyone for all the bullshit that is happening in your life. And you wonder why nobody's gonna care for you. You have alienated almost everyone who has tried to help you in the past. Just like Leticia, you refuse to take accountability for your actions. You project onto others. You deflect. And not to mention, you try to deny that people know enough about you to call you a lazy bum. And you go to these extremes and you ramp it up even to the point where you resort to self-harm. You are insane, Mary. Not only are you insane, but
You'll see how fast that smile fades. See how quickly we can take it away. When I wasn't smiling to intimidate or threaten them, I was just genuinely trying to have a good time.
Have a good time. Have a good game.
And now I'm afraid of doing that. I'm afraid of being seen enjoying life, because if I'm enjoying myself for even a second, these people are gonna get mad and they're gonna start attacking me again. They're gonna take it as an insult. And I don't understand why.
You don't understand why people are going after you? You don't understand why people are upset with you? It's because you do stupid shit like this. You blame everyone else for all of your own mistakes. You falsely accuse your family of shit that you do. You have Okay, so what was I gonna say is this. You've been falsely accusing your family of shit that they didn't do to you. You lie about them, you slander them, you drag your own family's name to the mud, and you pretty much do the same thing to anyone who talks about you. Anyone. Whether if it's Adonis Paul, whether if it's Daywave Radio, whether if it's Virgie G or Hatman or Niece Lone Wolf. It's always everyone else's fault but your own.
I'm afraid of police because I'm always waiting to be arrested for crimes that I didn't commit. They've got people believing that I'm a murderer, and there's nothing I can do about that. I'm going to spend the rest of my life with people hating me for crimes that I did not commit. They've said multiple times they're going to get the Kenneth McBride case reopened, and I'm waiting to be arrested for that.
No. The case is closed. Kenneth McBride is going to jail for a long ass time. And again, you have to understand, this is another one of Adrastia's ploys for attention, is that she'll pretend that she believes in what random trolls tell her in her comments, because, yeah, that's convenient. Not really. It goes to show that she craves the attention. She can't live without it. If she can't have attention, she'll die.
They've said that they're going to have me arrested for killing my grandmother, and I'm waiting to be arrested for that. Kathy said she went to Florida to get the proof of that, and then nothing ever came of it. But if you ask her, she'll just say, "Don't just keep."
Holy ass! 443 subscribers. You know, holy shit! 443 subscribers. Thank you guys. I mean, it means a lot. We're almost reaching 500, and I couldn't have done it without you guys. That's a lot. You guys are awesome. I love you. Try not to get emotional right now.
How just depressing it is to just keep waiting to be arrested for a crime that you did not commit. But
again, you didn't commit. You didn't kill Roberta Laws, but you told Kenneth to get rid of her. So, yeah. You're an accessory to a murder. And also, no one is stupid enough to open the case. It's done. Kenneth is going to serve a life sentence without parole. He's going to die in prison. He's probably dead by now, but who the fuck knows? No one's going to get him out of prison. He's not going to go looking for you. Someone just fucked with you and tried to get you to respond, because that's what trolls do. They try to get a reaction out of you, and you were stupid enough to believe that. Or are you? Are you stupid? Because, yeah, that's the question. Are you that stupid? Perhaps not. You knew that this was bullshit. You knew that they're not going to get Kenneth out. You knew that. But you're just pretending that you believe that because you think that it's going to get people to be on your side. You're so desperate for attention that you'll jump into anything that'll garner some form of sympathy. You're even worse than Amber Heard. You're pretty much on the same level as Leticia.
But you know people are setting you up for it. Currently gathering information to set you up for it. It's just... there's no happiness.
I'm on StreamYard right now, so I can't look at notifications. But I'll look at them later on.
There's no joy. There's no quality of life for me at this point.
And whose fault is that, Mary? Clearly not the internet's.
And I don't know what to do.
Get off the internet.
I have nobody that I can turn to. I have no family. Literally none. And that's not a lie. The only family I have is here on YouTube telling you all that I'm worthless garbage and always have been. And people say, well, nobody's ever going to love you unless you love yourself. Which means that nobody's ever going to love me because I do not know how to love myself.
Hello, Mary. Oh, shit. Speak of the devil.
I was not raised to love me. I was raised to hate me.
Time to die, Mary. It's time to die. Kenneth McBride is going to come for your ass, and you're going to be dead tomorrow. Not really, but again.
Just like if
I would like to see that Kenneth McBride sock account say, hello, Mary, in her comments. Oh, my God. Oh, my fucking God. I got to see. This is going to be fun. Watch her spiral.
everybody else in my family, we were raised to hate each other. Hate each other and hate anybody that's doing slightly better than us.
What are we? What is this? What are we, Am? What are you, Am?
Because they somehow took it from us.
No, that's just you, Mary.
My mom was always so envious of everybody else. She would take us trick-or-treating and tell us to get a good look at those rich houses and all the things that we would never have.
Again, I'm starting to think that you just ripped off Dave Pelzer, A Child Called It. Or you pretty much ripped off the movie Joker.
They could have had so much more if she drank less or they did less.
I'm sorry, I just had to laugh. That was funny. Oh, I gotta show that on the screen. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is fine. Guess what? Kenneth and Roberta are in here, Mary. You're fucked. The spirit of Roberta Laws is coming to get you, Mary.
Or they broke less in their fights.
Murderer!
But instead, my mom would just get mad that other people had more. Other people that probably weren't on crack had more. Other people that probably didn't have 5 kids had more. Who cares? Why is it so important to people to have things, to have better things, to have more things?
Because we want to provide a better life for our future generations. We want the best for the children. That's something you won't understand. Envy is something great. We don't want them to suffer the way we suffered. Maybe that's why. But then again, you won't understand that because you can't have kids, because you abused morphine and now you're barren. So you pretty much are a baby murderer by killing your eggs before they had time to be fertilized. Like I said, you're on the same level as Letitty.
I don't give a shit about things. I don't care if I ever own anything. Because that's what everybody else wants. They want things.
Yeah, we do want things. We all want things. Things makes us happy. And speaking of things, I broke my headphones and we're going to need to replace them. But I'm just using these headset just temporarily.
Things don't matter. Things can't hug you at night.
Is this what this is? You want someone to hug you at night? Mary, you're 37 years old. You don't need that shit. You're a grown woman. Stop acting like a fucking child. And no, I'm not going to lose my shit this time. I learned my lesson. I ain't going to do that again.
Things can't make you feel like you're worth living. They're just fucking things.
At least you can pronounce your G's. And now we go on to some of the recent shit because Mary's a cunt. And I feel in the mood to fuck with her some more. So Mary is like, don't talk about another person's weight. Discuss your own if you understand the subject well.
It takes a really disturbed person to lie about other people's weight. But
I wonder who she's talking about. Is she talking about Letitty?
that's what I'm dealing with right now. I've been very honest with my fans, my viewers, that I have an eating disorder. That since my grandmother passed away in 2015, I've lost over 100 pounds. I often eat things that make me sick to keep me from eating because you don't want to eat when you're sick.
We all know that you're not allergic to gluten, Mary. We all know that you're not allergic to gluten. It's been proven. I mean, you eat pizza, you eat burgers. You're not fooling us, Mary. I mean, You are such a dumb bitch. Well, actually, I wouldn't say you're dumb, but you obviously play the part perfectly. You play the part of a dumb bitch so well. And
a side effect of eating things that make you sick intentionally, which for me is gluten, is swelling and bloating. I can be losing weight and still look fatter and fatter every day because the food that I'm eating causes my body to swell. Not because I'm ingesting more of it. Or
I thought you were talking about Letitty. Now you're just bitching about how, oh, my family called me fat. I can't help you there, Adrasia. You lost me. You lost me.
that I'm even ingesting anything at all. People in my comments like to make fun of me and say that I'm fat, that I'm not losing weight. I'm obviously eating perfectly fine. You can.
You're looking a bit chunky, Adrasia. Did you get your EBT card renewed? Adrasia, if I poke you in the belly, will you go, woohoo? Watch, if I poke you in the belly, it's going to jiggle. Sorry.
Cannot tell how healthy a person is just by looking at them through a video. Because you can't tell how much of my fat is actual fat and how much of it is bloating and swelling from constantly eating things that I'm not able to tolerate. And even though you can't tell the difference, you're perfectly fine telling everybody else that it's clearly weight gain. And that this person with a eating disorder is clearly eating way too much and gaining weight rapidly. And you can't even see how fucked up that is. I don't lie about my eating. I don't lie about my weight. You guys do, though. And you're the ones that people believe when they come to my channel, unfortunately. Just don't talk about other people's weight. If it doesn't affect you, then it's not really affecting them. I mean, this isn't a Nikado avocado situation. I'm gaining weight rapidly. And you can't even see how fucked up that is. I don't lie about my eating. I don't lie about my weight. You guys do, though.
Really?
And you're the ones that people believe when they come to my channel, unfortunately. Just don't talk about other people's weight.
Why not?
If it doesn't affect you, then it's not really affecting them. I mean, this isn't a Nikado avocado situation.
It's Nikocado avocado. And the thing is, Nikado's fat, morbidly obese.
If it is, it's going in reverse. And people are still telling me that I'm just getting fat. You don't know how damaging words like that can be to people who have eating disorders, whether it's eating too much or eating too little.
You don't speak for people who do those stupid ass mukbang channels. You don't get to speak for people like Shani or Nika Kato or Chantal or Amberlyn Reed.
You don't know how much a stranger's remark about your weight can affect you. So please refrain from it.
No. No. All right. That's going to do it for tonight. I just want to get this shit out there for everyone else. Thank you for sticking around. Again, hit that like button on the way out. Share this with your friends. And why not subscribe? We have 443 subscribers right now. We're almost reaching our goal. And oh my God, I am so fucking excited. And if you wish to send a few dollars my way, you can check out my PayPal, my Cash App, or my Streamlabs. The links are in the description as well as in the chat. And the pinned comment too. I'll be back on Wednesday for the Zilla show, and we are going to be looking more at Ralph we're going to be looking at more coverage of the Ralph versus Worski fight in the near future. Don't miss that. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of stuff that I'll be doing down the pike. I might be doing a green text reading in the near future, and hopefully I would like to see your reactions. Until then, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for showing up. That being said, I'm Rickzilla, and I shall see you guys in the near future. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta go say hello to a friend. If you excuse me, I gotta go say hello to a future co-host of mine.